Yo, what's up? It's Dream Park Creations. Welcome to episode 2 of recreating California Screamin and Planet Coaster 2. In this episode, we are building the maintenance shed and the transfer track area. Alright, so in my original recreation in Planet Coaster 1, there was a great toolkit item that was a metal grate, and I used that for all the catwalks in that recreation. But we don't have that in PC2, so here I am building my own little metal grate with a bunch of tiny little beams. It actually turned out pretty well, but it is a piece eater, so if I do run into some performance issues down the road, once I've filled out all the catwalks on the track, we may rework it. I don't know, we'll see how it goes, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. These catwalks are kind of iconic with the railing and the little gold banner flag and the red top. It's pretty key to the ride, so I put a lot of detail into this. Alright, so since our last episode, Frontier dropped a wonderful DLC. We are also stoked to see the Intamin Blitz with the swing launch, and I'm so happy it's here, especially with the motorbike variant. Super cool, love that. But what really sold me was the flying theater. Frontier has never done something like that, and I love it. I encourage them to put out more DLC like that, because it's so welcomed, it's so unique, it's so detailed, it's needed in these parks. We all play Planet Coaster in our different ways, but so many people build it to make these realistic theme parks, and to have a huge flat ride like that can be themed on the outside, and for us PC players that we can make our own videos that they can go through. It's so great. It filled such a void that we were missing in Planet Coaster. And obviously now it's expanded my horizon and being okay, do I actually try to fully flesh out California Adventure and expand on, California Screamin? In Planet Coaster 1, I built all the way to the aerial ride before you get to the Grizzly Rapids area. I built into the wharf, but I didn't go into Cars Land. I was under a little bit of time pressure there. Last year I was traveling a bunch for work, and with the release of Planet Coaster 2, I really wanted to put out something before the release. But here we are. So Frontier, if you're listening, thank you so much for the flying theater. Incredible job. It's super unique. I've only got my hands on it for a little bit because I've also been traveling a lot for work the last couple months. So Frontier, if you're still listening, we would love a dynamic attractions, Radiator Springs Racers type ride. Selfishly, just so I can continue to build the rest of California Adventure. I would love to hear how you guys are liking the DLC. I think they crushed it. I'm so happy with Frontier and how much work they put out, in fleshing out the game and really bringing it up to speed. I understand the little rocky launch, but I trusted Frontier the whole time. They did a great job with the original Planet Coaster, and I figured that team would do the same for PC2. Alright, so I've been traveling a bunch for work, as I said, so I've had a lot of time to think about what I want this channel to be. I was thinking of how I could, capture more of the Disney audience and keep people interested during these long builds. And I thought it'd be great to maybe interview current or ex-cast members that have worked on California Screamin', whether ride ops, maintenance, whatever. And I don't know, I think that would be actually really fun to listen to an interview while I'm doing these long time-lapse builds of California Screamin'. So let me know if you're interested in that, or if that would just kind of be too much jumbled into one video. But I was really excited about that idea. Also, if any of you watching have any connections to current or ex-cast members that did work on Screamin, that would be super cool if you could like send this to them or reach out. I'm gonna find my own avenues to reach out to people. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of brainstorming a lot of ideas for this channel, and it gets me really excited. All right, in the back of this video right now, you can see I have super large billboards, and they actually have the original blueprints of California Screamin. I purchased them from someone online who had copies, so I imported them into a bunch of billboards, and I've used them to build the station out. I've used them later in this video to build the maintenance bay, and it's been so fun to build this way. It's almost like tracing a drawing, but like in Planet Coaster, which is unique and has its own challenges. In my work, I work with a lot of blueprints. So it's actually been really fun to work off blueprints that are interesting and exciting, like California Screamin. Alright, so while building this, I realized that the station, according to the blueprints, isn't exactly symmetrical. Like the 3 bays don't line up to be directly centered. So that created its own little unique challenges in this. You'll see me messing with it a lot. But it was actually pretty cool. So you can see here, this was before the DLC came out. I right there was trying to adjust the roofs, but I couldn't adjust the pitch. So thankfully, with the new update, we can adjust the pitch of roofs, which is so incredible. I don't know, I've heard too many people talking about how like game changing that is for building, but you'll see later on like that I recorded today because I bought the DLC last night. I just got back in from work, so I was able to build the roof the way I wanted to, but that also like had its own challenges because these corrugated wall pieces have these straight lines in them. So you'll see later, I'm trying to get stuff to line up, but I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. So in the blueprints here, this window is like a, I don't know, more of a horizontal rectangle, but the way it actually turned out in real life is a window that looks more like that. You'll also see on the top kind of that sun architectural like decor, which is on the front of the station, but it looks like they actually had plans to put it on the maintenance bay as well. But that didn't turn out to happen. So it's kind of cool to see like what it was originally planned as and then what they did when it came out. This was actually my most like enjoyable part of this was building this little door, and it kind of changed the way I'm going to build doors in the future for different things. It looks really simple and was actually pretty simple to build, but I love the way it turned out. My question for this, and if any of you watching have any info on this, on the left side of this, you can see there's a tank, but farther down on the side, it looks like there's a concrete wall that jets out towards the back. I don't know if that concrete wall is all the way to the ground, or if that's more of a roof trim that comes out to cover some stuff up in the air. I have the plans, but the plans don't really describe what it is. So that would be great if any of y'all knew what that was. But see, this is why I want to interview people that worked on it. I don't know if they're allowed to talk about it, but we'll ask. We'll see. But yeah, I am like so focused on making this super realistic. And yeah, we'll see where that takes us. It's exciting. This part added a ton of realism for me. I've never really done this, but adding the little cement curb to the bottom of these walls was a really simple thing that made this build turn out really realistic to me. So if you're out there looking to like spice up your builds and make them look a little more realistic, try adding just a simple little curb at the bottom of your wall. Looked amazing, super easy to do, and I will definitely remember that as I continue to build. I'll do that in the future. All right, so we're building out the bay here, and it looks humongous compared to my original recreation. But I think this is a little more true to scale. We'll see as we start to build the ride. If everything just looks a little too big, we can go in and readjust some things, because you'll see once I start building the transfer track, I realize that the station, it's too big. I have a clip in here that I'll go over what I'm talking about, but since our stations are so chunky, I had to build it a little bit bigger, but I didn't think that would cause a problem. But you'll see this center track, the track that connects the maintenance shed to the right station, it doesn't line up right because I had to build the station too big. So that station on the right is actually too far over. You'll see I put it in the location I want it later in the video, but we'll go over that when we're there. I'm getting ahead of myself. right, so we moved on to the back of the maintenance shed. These bays in the back actually go all the way down to the ground. So I had to do a little bit of adjusting. I thought I could just copy and paste the bays I made in the front, but you'll see I started tweaking them a bit, making them longer. I still gotta add a lot of little details for all this, but in general, this episode was just getting this in place, getting the key parts, and then we'll go and add our little details later. You can see there's some like bollards and stuff to the left and right that I didn't put in. There's a bunch of roof stuff. I gotta figure out how to build a skylight, because there's like 4 or 5 skylights in this shed. So we'll tackle these little details in later episodes. But for now, like I use these little metal beam pieces around to frame these doors out. I love it. Like I've always used these beams in this game, but I think I figured out the best way to use them, and it's for framing. Maybe that's what they're intended for, and I'm just late to the game. Alright, so I used the corrugated wall, again, same thing I'm using for the shed, but I just flipped it horizontally. That gives that kind of roll-up door texture. I think it looks like a roll-up door, so I'm happy with how that turned out in the back. The front, it'll be interesting. I think I want to kind of make some roll-up doors myself that can be functional, but we will see how that goes. There's also like I don't know, some like rubber covering that comes down in the front. We'll see what I want to do to cover the doors in the front. I don't want to fully cover them. And in my original recreation in Planet Coaster 1, I think I had the doors like 75% shut, so you could still see them. And I actually had 3 trains on the track, which wasn't realistic because I had a full set of trains on the track at the same time, but I thought it looked neat, and since we don't actually have functional transfer tracks, that's what I did. So I'll probably do that in this as well. I'll figure out a way to get trains on the track. That's also going to be another crazy thing, is trying to build the trains and attach the scenery to them. I don't even want to think about it. I tried it when I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, and I think I put in about 10 minutes of work and was like, nope, I can't do this right now. So I'll have to find it in myself. All right, so now we're building the transfer track. This one's super cool, 3 tracks going into one. You could see I tried a couple different variations of it because I'm working off like Google Earth and these blueprints that I got of the track layout. And I think there's like one photo online that you can get like a good view of. I was there, let's see, I think I was there like 2 months ago, and I tried to grab some photos of the transfer track that I'm just remembering, so I should go find those and see if there's anything I can learn from it. But I built it too high. I made the originally, you'll see, I made that concrete too low, so I had all the supports connecting the track, like they were too long, so it looked really funky. You'll see in a little bit I raise everything up to how it is, and it looks really, really good that way, obviously, and that's how it's like, because that's how it's built. I do a lot of figuring out how to make this look how it is in real life, and to try and make it functional, you know, if it were to move. I don't know, Frontier, you could help me out a little bit by giving us transfer tracks, so I'll gladly be waiting that DLC in the future. With this, there's a ton of trial and error. Trying to get this right. I think we all deal with that playing this game. I think you can like build something and you get through it, and then you go back, you're like, no, that's not right, or I don't want it that way, or I have a different idea. So you go back and you scrap it. That happens to me every time I play this game. I'll build something, I'll finish it, and then I'll get to the end and be like, nope, not happy with it, not the way I want it. Like, I need to put more detail into it, need to make it look better. So yeah, okay, so here you can see it's too low. The support beams, wow, the support beams going up to the track are way too high. I also wanted to use these little metal grates, but they're the back of the truck, so they had brake lights, so scrap that. Alright, so these little wheel covers I did, that ended up staying final. I think that's fine for now. They look a little basic for this. So if I come up with an idea, or if you guys have any ideas how to make it look better, let me know. Alright, now you are seeing my struggle. So this is where I adjusted the station over to where it should be. This is how it is laid out in real life. That's where the two tracks are. So I'd have to move this entire centerpiece over, and the vanilla railings would have to be in the way, which it just looks bad. So I'm gonna leave it the way it is for now with the station over too far, and I'll deal with how the transfer track lines up later, in hopes that Frontier lets us have smaller stations. That would be so cool. I feel like that would be game changing. Or even just get like the railings. I don't know. There's something there. There's something that I think they know about it. I think they want to fix it and give us the option to have that complete freedom in the stations. Alright, but here you can see I am playing with the gridded pieces that we can now angle wherever we want them. So I actually went back and changed the pitch of the roofs one time later, because I don't think I had it perfectly lined up on both sides. And you can see me messing with the corrugated pieces lining up, which I was talking about earlier. I also went back and changed this, so what you're seeing right now is not what ended up staying. It's kind of similar, but it looks a lot cleaner, obviously. You'll see it in the end. Something cool, I was researching old photos of the ride, and there is one photo someone took in the maintenance bay, and it was the old safety director for Disney or California Adventure, and he shows off a photo inside the bay. So that is like the one photo I'm working off for the inside, and in it were these really unique beams that run off on the side, and they almost go up in like a V shape, so they start pretty small and towards the top they get bigger. So I spend a lot of time trying to get that to look like it is in real life, obviously, because that's what this recreation is about. All right, so here's that support work. Again, I'm using those metal beams to frame out these supports. I'm pretty happy with it turned out. Once I finished one, I just copy and paste it to the other side. And it didn't line up right when I did it, so I went back and I fixed it. So you'll see what the finished product look like, because it actually ended up really well. But what you see here, I don't think it lines up perfectly, but I do fix it later. But these beams were great. I think it gave the inside a lot more character, realism. It's just fun to go off these reference photos, because it makes you think about how you build in this game. And I know that like once I start building other things other than this recreation, that I'm gonna take these things with me into my like future builds, whether it's just like a fully creative build from scratch or another recreation. It's just like little tips like these that I'll keep in mind. So here's when I flipped it. You could see, I don't know why it didn't line up perfectly. Also the roof wasn't centered, so I was like struggling with these tiny little lineups that I eventually fixed, but this was kind of annoying. Alright, and then in the game, for some reason, you cannot change the color of the beams underneath the corrugated roofs. So I took the corrugated piece by itself, kind of covered that up. I'll put in my own, or I did put in my own beams a little bit later. We'll do some more work inside of here, adding details, making it look like a maintenance bay that's not pristine. Like it's going to be used, and there's going to be stuff all around. There's going to be wires, there's going to be lighting, there's going to be tools. So alright, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching episode 2. If you could like, comment, subscribe, share it. If you know any cast members, former, current, like that would be so cool if you could send this to them. If they want to comment, I can get in touch with them. That would just be really cool. So thank you for being here. It means a lot. And I will see you on episode 3.